Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Welcome back to Focus on Fun, my new YouTube channel all about fun, self care, fun ways to have self care. That does include traveling. And I do traveling through pet sitting. Mainly because now I am an empty nester. I have with me another guest who is also a traveler and who is doing pet sitting to do more solo traveling. Welcome, please, Miss Taylor Sharpe.
Hi.
Hi, Taylor.
Hi.
Okay, much for coming on, doing this interview with us. So, like Taylor is a pet sitter. She's been doing that back when she was young, but she's also done some traveling, I believe, with family out of the country, with friends, and trips and whatnot out of the country. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I travel with friends back to their home country typically. My first international trip was to Ecuador with a friend who's from there. I was there for 3 weeks, and then throughout college, I would go to Grand Cayman. My college roommate was from there, so I got to spend time on her home island. And then last year, I finally went across the pond and visited Spain and Italy. And now next month, I'm excited to visit Mexico.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know. So, will the Mexico trip, will that be your first pet sit out of the country?
Yes, and I'm definitely excited to try out pet sitting internationally. That's kind of the number one reason I even signed up for Trusted House Sitters. When I first found out about it and the fact that I could travel just about anywhere in the world, that was a really huge selling point to someone who not only loves to travel, but kind of toys with the idea of living internationally anyway. So that kind of allows me to have a chance to explore that reality a bit.
Okay. Well, let me first say to everybody who's watching or who will be watching in the future, the replay, we are having really bad internet issues here in Colorado. It's very windy here, so that seems to be wreaking havoc on the internet. I mean, internet here is not the greatest anyway because we're in the mountains, but today it's just really being sassy, for lack of a better word, or to be politically correct. So, okay. Now, Taylor, so what kind of pets have you done as far as your pet sitting so far? How long have you been pet sitting with trusted house sitters?
So I've been on pet sitting, trusted house sitters for over a year now. I joined last March, so it has been a year now. And I did two sits last year, and I have two sits scheduled for this summer already. I definitely will be doing it more this year, for sure. Like I said, I already have June scheduled out for Mexico, and then I have July scheduled out for Washington State. And kind of toying with the
Okay.
idea of staying out west for the rest of the summer. So
Mm-hmm.
I need to jump on that a little bit further to get some more sits lined up for July, end of July, going into August.
Mhm.
And
That's exactly what I did last year. I spent most of last year on the West Coast. And this is a good time. This is a perfect time to start signing up for New Mexico has a lot. Washington State definitely has a lot. Colorado has a lot. Um, where else was I? Arizona has a lot. That may be too hot for you, but I, I love the heat. I'd rather have the heat than the cold and the snow any day. But yeah, this is a perfect time to start signing up for those. And if you're wanting long term sits, definitely Washington State and California.
right, yeah. So I have some family in Washington State, so I wanted to kind of hang out with my toddler niece a little bit this summer. So that's kind of like my idea of going to Washington State and kind of being out there for longer than just a week. Because before I was a pet sitting, I would do like a week long Airbnb, but
Mhm.
Airbnb just I just don't like it anymore. Like nothing wrong with the host or anything. I literally still have the lady's number from where I stayed last time. Great
Mhm.
place, but I like pet sitting. I like the companionship of the animal. I just really enjoy it. So I'm excited to kind of lock in a little bit further this summer with Trusted House Sitters. I have pet sit in the past before Trusted House Sitters. When I was younger, my neighbors would go on their 2 week long trips to Florida and leave, the responsibilities of caring for their cat with me. So I did that at a very young age and was always happy to do that. And yeah, so now I'm older and I'm able to solo travel, and trusted house sitters make solo travel a lot easier. I was able to bring my mom on one of the trips that I was in on in March. I was still in driving distance, and the homeowner said I could have a friend over if I wanted, and said, "Hey, mom, like, do you want to come stay?" So it was cool to see my mom interact with the cat as well.
Cool, cool. Now, where are you now? Like, where are you on a pet sit now?
No, I'm at home. I live in South Carolina.
Okay, okay, all right.
Yeah, so my last sit was in Charleston, South Carolina, which is where I went to school at. So I'm very familiar with the town, still have friends there and whatnot. So that was super fun. Already been extended the invite for future sits, which I'm really happy for because I really enjoyed the home. I love the cat. The neighbors were cool as well. Like I told my mom, I'm like, all right, everything goes well. Like this is gonna be my new hub for the city. So everything went well, and they travel a good bit too. So I'm sure I'll be back down there. And then, like I said, next month will be Mexico, and then July will be Washington State.
Okay. So now, do you have any specific events that you're gonna go to in Mexico while you're there, or
Yeah.
Washington?
So in
Not yet.
June, San Miguel de Allende, they host some festivals. The Locos Festival. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but basically, like it's like a costume type of festival. Las Miretes Loco, something like that. Festival of the Crazies, basically. So
Yes,
I'm gonna be
yes.
there for that, and then I just found out about the Black SMA group. So I did learn about this group actually on the original YouTube video that I watched about being Black and visiting San Miguel de Allende, because I wanted to make sure, like, wherever I was going, I was going to be
Safe
fine.
for us. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm not just
yes.
going to go anywhere, of course.
Mhm.
According to my parents, I will, but um, there is a Black and SMA group on Facebook. There is like a transitional hotel there that a Black woman runs for people that are looking to transition and expat from America to San Miguel. People will stay there for a while before they find a home to rent or a home to purchase. So I just learned about the Facebook group, and I learned that they do a brunch on the last Sunday each month, which unfortunately my flight
Nice.
leaves on the last Sunday of the month, but I probably will still just try to like go show face regardless, because
Yeah, yeah.
all goes well with the home in San Miguel de Allende, like I will be returning back to sit for the homeowner. That's kind of our plan, as long as our dynamic fits for both of us. Like she already told me like she'll want somebody in January, so the whole goal is to kind of set up a hub there as well.
Nice, nice. Now, would this be a cat or a dog in Mexico?
So this is going to be two dogs, going to be medium-sized dog, a small dog. If she decides to leave the small dog, she originally said like she was, but then she texted me and said I might bring the dog with me. It'll
Mhm,
just be more
mhm.
expensive. I said, hey, either way, I'm happy to help. And yeah, like I said, as long as everything goes well, because not only is it about like, oh, I like this location, but like I want to like the animal as well. Like I want to be able to enjoy the animal as well. If the animal doesn't like me, the animal doesn't like me, or vice versa. But the
Right.
whole thing is like I'm going to go to places that I hopefully will return to one day, and I don't
Mhm,
already have like
mhm.
what's set up there. So
Yes, yes, absolutely. Now, do you make arrangements to go like a day or two early so you can get to know the animal before the owner leaves? Or
yeah, when it comes to a dog, absolutely. I feel
absolutely,
like
yes.
dogs are more of a social and personable animal. So I am going to be there a day early before the owner leaves to,
Mhm,
meet the dog, get a lay out the land. She's going to take me
mhm.
to the grocery store, all that fun stuff. So
Yeah,
when it comes to pet sitting a dog, absolutely, cats aren't necessarily as
right.
anal about that as much, as long as you
Yeah.
feed them on time, or they're going to give you a little pit pat in your face regardless.
Uh-huh.
It's fine. That's fine.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, so now tell us about your preparation for going to Mexico as far as passport, visa, setting up the airfare. Tell us, walk us through that process.
Yeah, so since I'm only going for 2 weeks, I will not need a visa. I have my passport already. I've been traveling internationally for a few years now, so I already have my passport. When I went on my international trip last year, I went ahead and registered for global entry as well, so I have that taken care of. So I'm excited to use that again on this next travel. Um, as well. So airlines, I went ahead and got an American Airlines credit card, so I was able to put purchases on that and able to use the points as mileage for flights. So I was able to get my flight for some miles and $130 taxes, which works out for me. And so I have that already. Like I said, I got that a day ahead of time before the homeowner leaves. And then I prefer to stay in places where I can get around with public transportation. But San Miguel de Allende is a little different. It's not like you fly into San Miguel and can get on the bus to go to the home. You just fly into one of the neighboring airports. So I'm flying into a smaller airport, and the homeowner already has a driver from her travels last fall. So she shared their WhatsApp number with me, and I already have my pickup and drop off, service already taken care of. They take uh, cash as well as credit cards. So I already have that squared away. I already have that quote ready to go. I She said I live in walking distance to a restaurant, I live in walking distance to a grocery store, or if you plan on getting a lot, you may want to get a cab regardless. But yeah, I'm pretty much all squared away. Only thing I really have to plan for at this time is like getting a reservation for the spa I know I'm gonna go to.
Mhm.
There is a spa that people go to in San Miguel de Allende that has hot springs, and that's kind of like my bucket
Oh,
list thing. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to skydive, I want to do all this. Like my bucket list
mhm.
thing is hot springs.
Hot spring, me too.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
my thing is hot springs. Like
Absolutely.
I want to
Yes.
go to every hot spring possible in the world. Like that's my
We
thing.
definitely need to collaborate because I want to put together trips for single caregivers. That means single moms, single educators, single uh, healthcare, you know, caregivers, whether it's physical care, mental health care, single women who are doing that heavy duty job. And the hot springs is definitely one of my must haves on these trips that I'm doing, whether it's a cruise, all inclusive resort, it's got to have a hot spring somewhere.
Yes,
Gotta have a
that's
hot spring.
that's what I'm
So,
learning about myself too. I enjoy the mountains. I used to live in Colorado myself. I love the beach. I love, love, love the beach, but there is
hmm,
something about mineral spring water that you dip your
yes.
body into that's
Hmm.
so life altering and like
Hmm.
it's just amazing. Like one of my greatest memories of living in Colorado was taking my friends to the hot springs at night, and there's no lights allowed, no kids allowed either, because after the sun goes down you can be nude.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
being in the hot springs in that water and looking up and seeing the sky absolutely littered with stars, that's like one of my favorite memories ever. So I'm always looking for a hot spring as well. So I'll definitely be doing that in San Miguel de Allende. I definitely would like to take a day trip to one of the neighboring cities that people say is like, a good little day trip.
Hmm.
So I probably want to plan that out as well while I'm there because yes, I'm there to pet sit, but I read in one of the Facebook groups that we're in, like it's also nice to ask the homeowner for like a day just to like have for yourself. Let's say like
Yeah.
there's a neighbor that can like
Yeah.
just feed the dog for the day, like not necessarily like going to Mexico City and
Mhm.
being there for the weekend, but like just
Right.
going to a neighboring city for the day. Yeah.
Most of them encourage that. The almost pretty much all the pet sits I've been on encourage me to go and do something in the area or in a neighboring city, like you said. But as long as I'm back within
Mhm.
a reasonable time, like for the puppy, I have a puppy here now. She's got to go out like every hour, every 2 hours. I can't really go very far with that. But if it's a older dog, more mature dog who doesn't have, who's not as needy, you can be gone for like 3 or 4 hours and
Mm-hmm.
go do something for yourself. A cat, you can leave them pretty much all day. Most of the cat sits that I've done, they're like, you can be gone all day. Just they need somebody at night. They want to know somebody's here at night. And so, yeah, they've definitely encouraged the going out doing something. Now, let me backtrack real quick and ask you. You said something about global entry for Mexico. For those who don't know, can you explain what that means and what that process entails?
Yeah, so global entry, that is just gonna kind of, it's like kind of the, if you go to Disney or amusement park, like there's like a fast pass line. That's kind of what global entry is. It's like a step up from TSA pre-check. So, but it gives you access to TSA pre-check as well. So when I come back into America from my international travels, I'm able to go into the global entry line, so it doesn't take me as long because I have a layover in Dallas. So I have like an
Okay.
hour and a half layover, which fingers crossed it's gonna be enough time. If it's not okay, it's gonna be okay because I'm already back in the States and like there's flights from Dallas to Charlotte every hour, so it's gonna be okay anyways. But
Okay.
it's rather than waiting 3 hours in that line to get checked, like it's gonna hopefully just take like an hour, if that, depending on how busy the airport is. So the process for that, I didn't realize that my situation, I guess I got a little lucky or whatever, because I ended up getting an appointment online and they happened to be in Charleston like that week. Apparently, they're not there every week. I drove down there, forgot my passport. So I go back home 3 hours away. And then I drove back down like the next day because I got another appointment. And I was able to just, do my thumbprint. They ask you questions. Every agent isn't the same because some agents ask you like really strict questions, but mine was just like, it was just really easy. So I got that. But I know it has gotten a little bit easier for some cities like DC. You can do application on arrival now. So let's say like you just got in from Ireland or whatever, and like you want global entry, so you're able to apply for that like right then and there in the airport. But typically,
Mhm.
like it is, you have to get an appointment online and stuff like that. And you have to go to the right facility to do it. And it's not like a passport where you can just go to the post office that, has those services. Like you have to go to
Right.
a certain facility. So yeah, you just go online, do a quick Google search, global entry, see what facility is nearby you. I drove 3 hours for mine, but it lasts, if TSA pre-check lasts like 5 or 6 years, like global entry lasts longer than that, and then you get access to both. So I guess if you really wanted to, like you could do global entry and clear, and like you should be set. But I
Mhm.
just have global entry. If I want clear down the road, I'm sure I'll get it, but I don't really see a need to get clear because I have global entry.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's basically just like that fast pass line, like as if you were at an amusement park or at Disney.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. So you have Mexico coming up next month, and then you said you're doing Washington State after that. Is that going to be a cat or a dog for that one?
Washington State is going to be a kitten and some chickens. So I'm excited.
Chickens. Have you ever had any experience dealing with chickens?
So kinda, I grew up with a friend that lived on a farm,
Yeah, we
but
did too. Mhm.
yeah, like, but not necessarily like I've had chickens myself and whatnot.
Right.
But you basically just throw their feed at them and make sure there's no animals trying to get towards them.
Okay, cool. Very
And then
cool.
this Airbnb, I mean, this sit in Washington is also has an Airbnb like
Mhm.
unit on their property. So I have to like, I don't have to clean up after them or anything, but like just be present towards them sometimes if they can't get in contact with the owner. So, because at first she asked if I wanted to like clean the Airbnb unit for, payment. And I said, sure, so I'll already be there. But she ended up hiring someone anyways. But I thought that was a pretty cool request.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I've done that. I've actually
Really?
done that in in Washington actually. Yeah.
Okay.
In Washington, yeah, with a young lady. She was living in downtown and she had a separate unit Airbnb. And I've noticed that a lot more than now that I'm doing it more, I am noticing a lot of the owners have separate units set aside as Airbnbs, and they will either let you stay in there if
Mhm.
you want,
Mhm.
or you stay as part of the regular house and they still rent out the Airbnb. So yeah, I'm starting to see that a lot.
Yeah, that was
A lot.
my first experience with that. But if you've seen it, I'm sure I'll see it more.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. So now, as far as travel days, I've heard some people say that travel days can just be a nightmare. Do you find that easier because you have the global entry, or
I don't.
because I know it costs to get that? Do you think it's worth? You think it's worth the extra to have that?
Yeah, I think it's went up to like 180 now, but cost you gotta factor in cost per use and also like expiration date time. I'd have to look up like how long it lasts again, but it definitely lasts longer than like 6 or 7 years. And
Okay.
my whole thing is I'm gonna be traveling out the country, so I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my money's worth. I don't really have travel anxiety.
Hmm.
The most I have is like just getting to the airport and sitting at the gate like in time enough. I'm never the
Hmm.
like super late person to the airport. I typically like to be there, you
Yeah.
know, way ahead of time.
Right.
I
So
don't
you can
have like
just. Mhm.
yeah, like I don't have travel anxiety. I have like travel excitement, but
Yeah.
I don't have travel anxiety per se. My only thing is as I've gotten older is like if I don't have to get a connecting flight, I'm not getting a connecting flight. I'm gonna get the direct flight. Like
Nonstop. Yes.
that
Yes.
cuts down on a lot of the whatever comes up for me when I'm traveling. So
Hmm.
my flight to Mexico, I have a connecting flight in Dallas because they're not flying from Charlotte to straight to Mexico. Maybe to Cancun,
Yeah.
but not to the airport that I'm going to,
Hmm.
which is BJX. It's in Leon, Mexico. Like they're not flying straight there from Charlotte. Like I have to get on a bigger flight from Dallas. Um,
Hmm.
so that makes sense. But like my flight to Washington State, nonstop. And I've done the flight to Seattle to Charlotte like a good amount of times at this point, and
Hmm.
I've the longest layover I ever had was for that flight. I flew from Charlotte to Seattle, and this was a solo trip. This was before I even knew about pet sitting, and I had like a 9 hour layover in Vegas, and the reason
Woo.
why it wasn't that bad was because I have a friend that lives in Vegas, and she just let me come to her apartment and like sleep, and I
Hmm.
actually had a lot of fun, but that's because I had someone that could get me from the airport and I could go to their house and like hang out and
Hmm.
like get on the bus and like go around Vegas for a little bit. But
Yeah.
let's say like I did that in Chicago, I'd be miserable because I don't have anybody in Chicago. Which
Right.
I've kind of done that in Chicago before, but not for 9 hours. It was like 5 or 6 hours, and I was just like on the phone with my
Yeah.
parents. Like this is so boring.
I did a 5 or 6 hour layover in Vegas. That was the longest one that I've had, but it was not that bad because first it's Vegas. Their airport is completely different from anybody's airport that I've ever been in. And it just, it wasn't overly crowded, wasn't overly busy. So for me, it was a chance to just kind of just, I'll just chill out here, spend a few hours. And that's what I did. I didn't really necessarily go around Vegas and do any of that stuff because I've been to Vegas several times with different people. So I've done most of the Vegas stuff.
Hmm.
So that wasn't really a big thing for me. So I pretty much stayed in the airport, ate, walked around. I love to sit and watch the planes take off. So I found a nice place to sit where I could eat and just watch the planes. And before you know it, the time is gone. Time for you to go. So that
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I did. And that's usually what I try to do when I have long layovers. But I have noticed with a lot of the traveling that I've done, like you said, I try not to do that if I don't have to. But if I'm not in a rush, and let's say my flight leaves in the morning or the afternoon and the person can't pick me up till like the evening, I'm like, okay, I've got time to kill. I'll do a layover. Because
Really?
before, yeah, because like last year before I started doing this, I was definitely afraid of flying. I hated it.
Really?
I wouldn't do it. So all I would do was nonstop. But the more I was traveling and the different places I was going, you can't always get a nonstop flight.
Right, exactly.
That's when I was like, because before, like I said before, I would just back out. Yeah, no, I can't do it. I can't get a nonstop flight. Never mind. No, I can't do it.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I can't. If it's not nonstop, I can't do it. But now I'm really getting. It's not a problem. It's actually not a problem at all anymore. I can do 2 and 3 layovers if I have to. I don't want to. I don't want to. But if I have to, I'm fine with it now because I don't have that anxiety and nervousness and fear of any of. I just don't. I don't have any of that anymore because for
Awesome.
me, it was the taking off, the landing, the being up in the air. For the pilot to come on and say, we're 30,000 feet. I'm like, oh my God, that's just so high. Do we need to be up that high? Why do I need to know that we're that high? And then he's like, we're going so and so miles an hour. I don't need to know that. I'm not driving the plane. I really don't need to know that we're going that fast and we're that high. Yeah, it was all that. Now, now I'm fine. I sit by the window, get my little snacks,
I love
put on
that.
the music. But
Yes, you
I
have to have your snacks. You have to
gotta
have
have
your
your
snacks.
snacks, yeah, because
Either
yeah,
you bring them
air,
with you. I
yes,
try to be good about it and go like to the
yeah,
grocery store the night before. But every
yeah.
now and
Bring
then,
your
like
snacks and pack them in your bag that goes underneath. Because if you put them in the carry-on, they're taking them from you. They're taking them from you.
yeah,
Even
pack your
now,
snacks.
I've heard people say you can bring your drinks, but my experience, no. You cannot bring
If
any
you
drink,
bring if
even
you
if it's not open, you
yeah,
cannot
it
bring
has
it.
to
The
be
only way they
frozen.
let you bring it, right? The only
Yeah.
way they let you bring it if it's frozen. Okay, so for those of you who are listening, she's dropped a lot of nuggets. Okay, if you got drink, make sure it's frozen. If you're bringing it through TSA,
Yes.
solo traveling, your nuggets for that are use your points from your credit card for your flight discounts or free flights, and use pet sitting to pay for your accommodations. Those right
Yes.
there are travel hacks, people.
Life
Travel hacks for
hack.
solo traveling
Yes.
is the best way to solo travel. And like she said, she's planning her pet sits around different events that are going on in these areas. So she's got something to do. She can literally just go and have a blast in a new country, and she has a beautiful home to come back to and stay. And then she's got pets.
A
If
cute
you
little
like pets,
doggy.
yes, if you like pets, that's like a win-win-win-win all the way around. That's the best way to do it. Best way to
Also,
do it.
it's like a little life hack to have the dog as well with you, especially if you go to a place where they allow animals to sit on the patio where you eat, because people will come up and talk to you. It
Hmm.
happens all the time. Oh
Yeah.
my
So,
gosh, what's their name? Like, how old are
uh-huh.
they? Oh, it's
Mhm.
so cute. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah. And then that way you don't have to rush because you got to get back to the dog and walk it or whatever because you got him with you. So yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
have
a
the
good.
dog like everywhere with me. That's gonna be like my little companion as I'm out,
Mhm.
as long as I'm not like going to like a museum or something. But yeah,
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I
the
like that.
dog is gonna be with me.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then another like hack about pet sitting, make sure you're in the city somewhere so you can take public transportation or walk because that'll cut down on that rental car budget. Like I kind of refuse to rent a car. I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not
Mm-mm,
doing it. The
mm-mm.
only way I'll do that is if like I'm going on a group trip. But I don't mind walking. Like I went to school where I went to school as a pedestrian Ford city, and I love to go to New York and walk around. I don't mind it. I'll walk in my free time here at home. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I said. Okay, so for any new viewers who may come on here thinking about pet sitting, I know both of us are in the Sisters Who Sit Facebook group run by Diamond Gem. What's it? Diamond
diamond,
Crystal.
crystal. Mhm.
Diamond Crystal. Many of the pet sitters that I'm meeting in there are also part of the Exodus Summit with Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow. Stephanie Perry, of course, has her own YouTube channel about pet sitting, and those are pretty much experienced people who have done several out of the country sits. So, um, for those who are like you and I, who've only done it for a year and just getting our feet wet, really starting to get into international travel, what words of advice would you give? Is there,
So, one thing that I will kind of just capitalize on that Stephanie also had a really made a really big point on is our hair. Um, Before I got sister locks, I would either have just like my natural hair getting, either braids or twist outs and whatnot. But definitely come to peace with your hair because Stephanie's so right. That's one of the main things that holds us back from going places. It's like either, oh, I can't go that place until I lose X amount of weight, or I can't go there because my hair is not done. We need to make peace with all of that because the world will not stop. The world does not stop. Have some people other than us, other than Black women, they don't even know what's going on with your hair and they do not care. Like, they
mm-mm,
don't care. A lot of times, the more grown out our hair is, the better they think it looks. So
mm-mm, mm-mm.
stop caring about that as much. Like, really come to peace with, a long term protective style. That's why I went ahead and invested in Sister Locks because it's just much easier for the most part. It is much easier. Yes, it's a price investment, but
Mhm.
it's changed my life for the better. Absolutely. So that's the first thing. That would be my first advice. And second is just like exposure. Expose yourself to people that are already doing this. Expose yourself to people that want to do this and that's talking about doing it. Whether
Like
that's
like the Facebook groups.
Yes, exactly. Whether that's YouTube content, like how I found Stephanie,
Mhm.
because I'm pretty sure I was just looking up like international living Black woman and like Stephanie came up because I every now and while I'm like rocking back and forth because I want to leave America. So
You're
whether
right. I'm so ready to go.
Exactly. So whether it's like YouTube content or finding a Facebook group and whatnot, that's kind of what I was telling my friend last week. He really wants to start solo travel, but he's scared. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's really normal. Like that's super, super normal. That's
Yeah.
why I'm so glad I found pet sitting because it gives me a sense of purpose. It gives me a sense of
Yes.
belonging. Like, oh,
Yes. Yes.
I have to go take care of this animal in this country or in this state. Like
Yep.
it
Yeah. It
just
takes your
makes me,
mind off of yeah. It
yeah,
shifts your mind because your mind is on. I have a job to do when I go over there.
exactly.
This pet is depending
So
on me. These owners are depending on me. You're not thinking about, oh, I'm going to be solo traveling. I'm going to be by myself. What am I going to do? What are people going to think? What are they going to say? You're not thinking about any of that. You're solely thinking about taking care of that pet, being there for that owner. Yeah, it makes a huge, huge difference.
it makes
Huge, huge,
a huge
huge.
difference. So yeah, just exposure to that. Um, Read about it, look it up, do a
Reach.
closer to home travel, sit or
Mhm.
one thing that I also share with my friend who wants to start solo traveling, go to the city where you already have a friend in, you know?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have to be with them the whole time. You don't have to plan a trip with them. But hey, like I'm here for a few days. Like let's go to lunch, let's go to dinner, or and
Mhm.
also on top of that, plan to do things that you already enjoy. On my very
Mhm.
first solo trip to Washington State, I did things that I already do. Like I do the True Float Spa. When you do the
Mhm.
pod meditation thing. Like I did that. Like that was super cute and super fun to me. I already go get facials or go do a workout class or something or get the day pass to a gym. It doesn't have to be like vacation mode all the time. Like you can just pick up your lifestyle in another city.
Yep.
That's what I do.
Yep. And speaking of day passes, a lot of people don't know you can do a day pass to a resort.
Yes.
Resorts I know can be expensive, but you don't have to stay there.
No.
You can get a day pass and
Yeah.
have access to most of the amenities.
Yeah. The app's called
Go
Resort
there,
Pass.
have fun, go there, relax. You can do a spa treatment if you want.
Mhm.
You can do their water park or their pool, their lazy river, any of the activities that they have. you just check, check as long as that day pass covers it, because they have different levels of day
Yeah.
passes. But yeah, you can go there for the
Yeah.
day. You
A
don't have
lot
to
of those
stay.
places have
A lot
day.
of the resorts are doing that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the app is called Resort Pass, I believe, that you
Yeah, I
can.
think it is Resort Pass. I think, yeah, resortpass.com. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So you get a
I'll
day
look it up and put a link in the description
Yeah.
box. Mhm.
You can do class pass to get like a workout class, or a lot of times the classes from a fitness studio is free for the first one that you do, so you don't have
Mhm.
to pay for it. As well as I was just thinking something that popped up. We said resort, or we said a day pass for the gym. Uh, like I said before, look to see what events are going on. Oh, I was gonna say Groupon. Get on Groupon. See what's on Groupon.
Oh my God, yes, Groupon, and
Yeah.
what's the other one? Living Social.
Okay. See, I don't know about
Both,
that one.
yeah,
That one.
Living Social, both of those. I think it's limited as far as the city and states that it serves, but I know they definitely have it in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Mhm.
Yeah, either one of those. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
Get on Groupon.
Actually, that is a perfect way to try out something new that you're not sure about. I like that. I want to try it, but it's kind of expensive. I don't know. Groupon, Living Social, perfect way to do that. And then there's
Yeah.
also meetups.com.
Mhm.
They're all over the
Yeah.
United States. I
And
think they're
those
in
things
different
are free
countries also.
usually.
Those are for free.
Yeah.
You can definitely sign up for free. And then they have all these different events that you can go to solo, but
Yep.
you're not alone.
Yep.
You're
And don't
meeting
forget about
other
Eventbrite.
Yes, Eventbrite. You're meeting other solo people
Yep.
as a group,
Yep.
as a
And
group doing
another
things that you like to do.
And another thing, don't neglect Facebook, because there's Facebook groups already out
Groups,
there
yes,
for people
yes.
that are in the city, or
Hmm.
Facebook groups that are, you can say, hey, I'm going to this city. Is anybody there at this time? They want to go to dinner. They want to go get drinks. They want to go dance. That's already
Exodus
happening.
Summit. Exodus Summit does a lot of that. They have now branched off, and
Mhm.
they've got a lot of meetups in different cities
Mhm.
throughout the U.S. and abroad.
Yes.
They just having their own meetup groups. Hey, there's no event going on. We're just going to meet up. Let's
Yep.
go to this place or that place. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
That's I ended up meeting Stephanie Perry at one of those kind of just, hey, let's just get together kind of
Right.
meetups.
Very
In
cool.
Joshua Tree in California. Yeah. We met up
Cool.
there.
Very
It was
cool.
so nice. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so those are all great ways to like just kind of get out of your comfort zone a little
Get
bit.
out of there. Yes.
I have like
Yes.
the one thing, at least one thing that you absolutely want to do while you're there. Find something of interest. And you can use Airbnb to find things too. You don't always have to just Airbnb is not just to find a stay. Like you can find things to do on Airbnb as well in that
Yeah,
city.
yeah, yeah. They have different events or something like that. I think they call it for
Yeah,
Airbnbers,
it's just like
and
certain
you can
activities. Yeah.
right. You can click on that
Yep.
tab
You can find
and
a walking tour, you can find a
yep,
cooking class. Now these
yep.
are ticketed events, of course, but
Uh-huh.
yeah.
There's definitely things that like you said, it's another way of finding things to do that you like, especially
Mhm,
if you're solo traveling, but
mhm.
you're not necessarily alone.
No, you're not
You're
you're
not
not
alone.
alone, and then at the end of the day, you have an animal.
Right.
And talk to
And
that
so
animal. They're not
you
just
have a pet. Yeah.
yeah, in the background, like, talk
Mhm.
to the animal.
Right. But then the key with that is please, please, please keep in mind you want to have a pet that matches your personality. You do not want a hyperactive pet that's just go, 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 run, 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 and you are laid back and just wanting to chill out. That's not going to be a good match for you, and that's just not going to work.
No,
You
it
got
will
to do
not be
your
a good
research.
experience.
You got to do your research. If you've been raised with, let's say, little dogs all the time, and now you're pet sitting and you're going to try a big dog, research, 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 and learn all you can about those big dogs before you just jump in there. I made that mistake. Not a good idea.
Yeah,
Not a
and
good
that kind of poorly reflects on you as a sitter as well because, you know, you just don't want to get a bad review. Or I think it was you actually who posted in the Facebook group saying like you only pet sit really cute animals. Like, yeah, because you're gonna take care of
idea.
that animal better.
Yeah. Well, I actually small animals is what I prefer. You know, cute,
Yeah.
yeah, but definitely small animals because I did also post that I had taken care of two big dogs, and one was a Siberian Husky, and it just made me so nervous the whole time because you know, Siberian Husky looks just like a wolf. To me, that's all I saw was a wolf. Now, granted, this one was only 3, but he didn't look like a 3-year-old. He looked like a full-grown wolf. That's what he looked like. The pictures on her profile do not show him
Mhm.
at the age that he is now, which was part of what threw me off. I did see him sort of when we did our interview, but it's not the same as really
Not the
seeing
same.
him. It
And
is
I would
not.
always recommend people to do a Zoom interview or Google Meet.
Definitely do a Zoom interview, and you want to see
See the
full
animal,
contact, full fledged of the pet or
the
pets
pet,
if it's more than
and
one.
the home too.
Yes, and you want to see the home actually, because yeah, because a lot of them don't put pictures of the home. They got like 50 pictures of the cat and no pictures. No, I need to see the kitchen, the living room, whatever places that I have access to. I want to see those home. I want to see those places because again, the pictures can be outdated.
Hmm.
And I'm finding that these pictures that they have on their profiles are when they first signed up, which could be like 5 or 6 years ago. There was no baby then. Now they have a baby or a toddler. The house has been reconstructed. That's not showing in the profile pictures anymore.
Yeah, that
So
makes a lot of sense. Like the
you
homeowner.
definitely want to do a video so you can have update current information of what the pet looks like and what the home looks like,
Yeah,
especially
that
where
makes
you're
a lot
going
of
to be
sense.
sleeping.
Hmm. Yeah, like for example, the homeowner that I'm sitting for in Mexico, she's actually not even there yet. So I've only seen pictures from the realtor. So when she gets
Mhm.
there later this month, like she's gonna FaceTime me again. So
Yeah.
hopefully everything looks correct.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's that. Yeah, those are really good tips, you guys, to keep in mind if you're thinking about pet sitting or if you've signed up but haven't done your first pet sit yet. Those are definitely some good tips to keep in mind. Research is key. Ooh, that's a cute little puppy. Doesn't mean that it's going to be a good fit for you. Ooh, that seems like a really cool dog. Doesn't mean it's going to be a good fit for you. You want to research about the animal and you want to read their profile and not just down in the section where it tells you your responsibilities. A lot of times they're putting stuff about the pet right at the beginning when they introduce themselves. Well, this, we do this, my husband does that. A lot of times they put stuff about the animal in there up at the top and they do not repeat it down in the responsibility section. It is our responsibility to read everything. Everything. No skimming because you could definitely miss that the cat Fluffy needs medication twice a day. That the dog may need eye drops twice a week. Gotta read very carefully and make sure you're comfortable doing those things because you're going to have to do those
You
things.
have to do it because if you
The
don't do it,
job comes first, people. The
they
job
know
comes
you're not
first.
doing it. Like the cat I had,
Yes.
Charleston, if he had diabetes, so he had to get insulin, and I had to give him a pill. So at first it was a little difficult giving the pill, but I learned what was best to do. I actually got one of the in town sitters who sits like for short term sits to come and show me how she does it, which made me feel a lot better because you do kind of have to manhandle the cat a little bit. But if you are a cat, if you're an animal lover, like how she put it, like I love cats, so I know I'm not actually hurting him. I've never hurt a cat, and that made
Yeah.
it click for me. So I was
Mhm.
able just to get it down his throat a lot easier. And the longer you take, the more agitated they get. And if you're not
Yeah.
giving them their medicine, it's going to show up through their skin or through their fur
Yeah.
or something.
The fur.
You have
Yeah.
to do it.
Absolutely.
You have to do it.
Absolutely.
You have to make sure you're comfortable with doing it. So, like you said, like if you're not comfortable doing that, do not sign up. If you don't think you'll be
No.
comfortable
Yeah.
in the home, do not sign up. If you don't
I
know
don't care how
anything
much.
about large dogs that need really long, hour-long
Don't
walks, do not sign
don't
up.
do it.
Don't do it.
Don't sign up for that sit. Don't sign
Yeah,
up for that sit. Move on
yeah.
to something else. There's
Move
definitely
on.
other options. Definitely other options. Yeah.
Like I saw this gorgeous home in San Miguel de Allende, but they have hairless cats. And honestly, I don't want to pet a hairless cat. So I'm never going to sign up for that sit.
There's a cat that's hairless, and it looks like, I don't know if you remember that movie Lord of the Rings. That little creature that precious, my
Yeah.
precious. That cat looks just like that creature,
Yeah.
and it just freaks me out. I'm like, no.
That's
And
not for me.
like you said, the house was gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous, had everything you would want. It was literally like staying at a resort. But when I
Yeah.
saw that cat, I'm like, oh no.
Nope. Can't do it
No, I
because
can't. I can't. Mm-mm.
they're going to
Mm-mm.
ask me to send them a video of me petting the cat. And I'm going to be like,
Mm-mm. No, I'm not. No,
not doing
no,
it.
I can't.
You're going
Mm-mm.
to need some fur.
You have to be comfortable doing these sits, interacting with these pets, because you're going to have to interact, and they're going to be expecting, like she said, either videos or pictures or both. I send a lot every day throughout the day. So they know that I'm definitely interacting with these pets. I show them where I'm walking these pets, where I'm outside playing with the pets. I have them in the bed if the pet's allowed, because I ask them that. Make sure you ask them that. Is the pet allowed in the bed?
A lot of
Sometimes they'll
times
tell
they
you
sleep in the
the
bed.
pet's used to sleeping in the bed, but if you're not okay with that, cats, I'm not okay with that. I have bronchial asthma. For the pet to be all up in my face, yeah, no, not a good thing. I can take care of the pet. I mean, I can play with it and all that, but no, he can't be all up in my space just constantly. Yeah, no, 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 no. I can't do that. So
Yeah.
you've got to know yourself. You've got to make sure your personality and your values and morals mesh with this pet. I know
Yeah.
that may sound crazy, but pets have personalities too.
100%.
They have personalities too, and they can tell when you're standoffish.
Yes.
They can tell that you're not really a pet person. They can just tell, like the two big dogs that I had trouble with, they could tell. And then when their parents got home, the parents could tell that I wasn't as attentive as they're used to being, because a lot of these parents get these pets over COVID time. So they're remote working from home. So the pets are used to being around the parents nonstop, constantly pet, pet, touch, touch. So that's what they're expecting when the parents leave. Well, with the Siberian Husky, I'm sorry, yeah, we didn't do that. And there was another dog, and she got some attention, but not as much as she's used to, because, like I said, she's used to the parents being home nonstop, especially the mom. So there's always touching and stroking and all that affection and attention. I did some, but not at the level where they're used to. You've got to be willing to do that with these pets, because like I said, a lot of them are rescue pets that people got during COVID, and now they have to go back to work or travel for work, or they're traveling to see family or what have you. Those pets are still looking for that same level of attention. You've got to be ready for that. You've got to be willing to do that.
Yep.
The pets owners will definitely know as soon as they
Yes.
come back. They're gonna know.
Yes. They
They're
know.
gonna know.
It's not a secret. The cat
No,
can't
it's not.
verbally, or the dog can't verbally say it, but
But his body language says, his reaction to mama coming in that door tells her a whole
yeah,
lot.
a whole
She's
lot.
gonna know.
Yeah.
They're gonna know. There's no way to hide that. There's no way that just because you fed them, let them
That's
in
not
and
enough.
out, and that was it. No, no,
Feeding the dog only is not enough.
no, no. It's like a child. You wouldn't do that with a child. And if you did, you sure shouldn't be pet sitting. You shouldn't be pet sitting at all if you're doing that with a pet child.
You really
Just,
should not be pet sitting if that's
I
your thing.
fed her.
Yeah.
I put her down for her nap.
No, that should not be
Yeah,
your
yeah,
approach. You should not be pet sitting if it
no,
is.
should not be pet sitting if that's how you feel. Definitely don't be pet sitting if, oh, this is a good way for me to go and visit friends and go to these different events. That's a good idea. No, you got to do the pet sit job first before you go to these events.
Yep.
Priorities.
Yes, that is priority.
Priorities.
And don't forget, a lot of these homeowners, they have the Ring camera and whatnot. So
They
they
have the
know
ring
what time
camera,
you're
yes.
leaving. They know what time you're coming home.
Yep,
And
yep.
they get the notification on their phone. Like, they don't have to sit
Mhm.
there and watch it, but they get the notification.
They get the notification, yeah. They get
Yeah.
the notification. And when they say no visitors, they mean no visitors. Just because your sister lives up the street, that's she's still a visitor. She's family for you, but that woman doesn't know your sister.
Right.
She doesn't really know you, but she's trusting you to stay in her home and take care of her pet and do it like she said. Do it the way she said. I mean, think about it. How would you like to have a stranger in your home? You're nervous about that, but you trust them to stay in your home, and they invite somebody else to come and stay in their home that they don't know.
Exactly.
That's how you have to think about. How would you feel if somebody did that to you?
Not good.
Not good. Yeah, you probably have. I'm gonna put that. Yeah, that person in my house. Yeah, around my dogs and yeah. Okay, it's the same thing. Whether you agree with it or not, it's a respect thing. That's what they asked. That's what you need to do. If you don't agree with it and don't want to do it, then don't do the pet sit. It's a respect thing. You have to respect their wishes, whether you agree with them or not. Period. No sneaking. Oh, you can get around the bell, the door, ring, camera, and no, no. Mm-mm.
If you'd want to do all that, yeah, just go ahead and get an Airbnb.
Yes, go on and get an Airbnb. Go and get an Airbnb. Stop being cheap and go and get an Airbnb.
Yeah.
You can find inexpensive Airbnbs these days. Yes, you can. But that is not the way to do it. No, not at all. Not at all. Okay, Miss Taylor, any last words of advice, encouragement? Get out there and do it.
Yeah, if you love animals, if you want to take care of somebody's animal, have companion in a new place, you should definitely be doing this. So just kind of reiterating what you just said. If that's not your idea of traveling, don't do this. It's not for you. But the job is pet sitting. That is the job. And a lot of times you get with really nice homeowners. Like last place I was at, I was there for basically the whole month. So she filled the fridge up for me. Super nice.
I know, right? I
Yeah.
know, right? For me, it's perfect. And don't forget, May is Mental Health Awareness Week. I do have ADHD, executive function dysfunction, and OCD, and a couple other things. So this ADHD does not walk alone. But for those of you who are out there struggling just with executive function skills, that's prioritizing, scheduling, planning, organizing, all that kind of stuff. You struggling with that? Pet sitting is a perfect way to help reduce those symptoms because you're on a schedule, because you're on a regimented, organized schedule. If you're not organized, pet sitting will definitely get you organized. The owner is going to be very specific in what they want done, how they want done, time and day they want it done. It's all right there for you. Pet sitting is the perfect way to help with that struggle.
And don't be afraid to ask extra questions from the homeowner as well.
Yes.
They
If
love
you
questions.
are not, yes, they love questions. If what they explain doesn't make sense, ask them to explain it again.
Yep.
Or
Nothing
did
wrong
you
with
mean, did you mean so and so and so said they'd rather you do that than to guess
it. Yeah.
and not be correct.
Yep.
You don't want to do that. So pet sitting is a good way to do that. And it's perfect for your mental health. Solo traveling period is great for mental health. But solo traveling gives you a chance to think. It gives you mental clarity. It's stress relieving, anxiety relieving, emotional regulation,
Yep.
mood enhancement. Travel
Mood
gives you
enhancement.
all of that. If you are a single mom or if you're dealing with any kind of mental illness, definitely try traveling. If you're ready to try solo traveling, hook me up. Let me know. Like I said, I've got a travel group. I have a travel group. No, I am not a travel advisor. That's different. That's too much stuff. I don't want to do all that. I put the groups together. I bring them through the travel advisors and let them do all the work. But my groups, they're unique trips. I put the trip together for an experience. It's not just a trip. We're not just going on a cruise. We are going for an experience. They're going to be different. They're going to be different, period. but they're going to be fun. You're going to have your fun time, your relaxation. A lot of my trips and cruises that I am planning are definitely going to be built around dance. For those of you who don't know, I have a dance challenge that's coming up starting on Sunday. It's not too late to sign up for it. It's on Eventbrite. I will put the link in the description box for this video. But I've also been putting it on Facebook. Definitely sign up for the dance challenge. Again, it's gonna be different. Get ready. That's all I got to say. Get ready. I don't want to hear. Ooh, girl, she want me out. I wasn't expecting that. I'm telling you now, it's gonna be different. You're gonna be doing some dancing. Get ready. Okay, Miss Taylor. Well, I thank you again. Thank you so much for your time, for coming on, talking to us. Definitely keep us posted with your pet sit in Mexico in the Facebook group, and I would love to have you back once you complete that sit to let us know about your first international pet sit. We would love to hear about that.
Yes, I would love to share. So hopefully all goes well and there's nothing that happens that will be detrimental or anything. Because
Yeah.
I've actually had a pet sit international schedule before, but American Airlines would not get me there for 2 days. So my flight
Well,
was delayed for 2 days. That was crazy. So
see,
trying again.
yep. Planning, research. That's all. Once you accept that pet sit, you need to jump on that and start that research and that planning. And your airfare is one of the first things you need to check. If you don't have your passport, do that first, get that process started, and then start checking that airfare because you may find out that you don't want to pay over $1,000 just to go one way for 2 weeks. Just it is what it is.
Mhm.
So you accept it. If you've been accepted for the pet sit, do your research before you have that interview call. Check all of that out because you don't want to say yeah I'll accept it, and then have the interview call, and then find out oh darn airfare's over $1,000 just to go over to such and such country. I'm only going to be there for 3 weeks. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to do all that research before you have the video call. So give yourself enough time to do that. Okay, well, I think we covered everything. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
Bye.
You bye everybody. Till next time.